guys, what is up? My name is Meaghan and welcome back to Book Talk with Meg. In today's video, I will be talking about all the books I want to read in September. September is always a great release month and a great atmospheric month to read all the books. I am more of a contemporary reader, but in the months of like September and October, I do tend to go a little bit out of my comfort zone and read a little bit more fantasy, so it's going to be a different reading month for me and I'm really excited about it. I've been planning my TBR for a few days now, so without further ado, we'll hop on in. I will be talking about the books I own on my physical TBR first and then go into all the releases that I want to read. The first book that I have on my TBR is very much a priority read, and that is Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. I am finally getting to it, guys, because obviously, spoiler alert, the month of September is release month for Capturing the Devil, the last book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, Escaping from Houdini being the third book. Also, I am creating a secret project for this novel, and I'm tabbing the crap out of it. I have started it, but I don't think I'll be finished before September because I am pre-filming this a few days early. But in any case, if you guys don't know what Stalking Jack the Ripper is, I do have a full video, actually a few that I can link up in the cards and down below, but a quick summary is basically Stalking Jack the Ripper is a book that takes place in the Victorian era and follows our main character Audrey Rose as she is an apprentice under her uncle in the forensic sciences. Now, already in the Victorian era, forensic sciences weren't really appreciated. People didn't really understand the need to look at dead bodies and learn from them, and especially a lady, so Audrey Rose is kind of a taboo. And also under Audrey Rose's uncle is the apprentice Thomas Creswell, and they are learning together and obviously they form a relationship. Everybody knows that by now. Thomas Creswell is very swoony. In the first book, Audrey Rose, Thomas, and their uncle are trying to solve the Jack the Ripper murders. Basically, Jack the Ripper, the historical figure, is put into fiction. In the second novel, Hunting Prince Dracula, we basically follow Audrey Rose and Thomas in an academy as they try to figure out the Vlad the Impaler murders, which is Dracula. The third book follows Houdini, and Audrey Rose and Thomas are on a cruise ship. And the fourth and final book will take place in America, and it will follow the Whitechapel murders, hence Capturing the Devil. So, very excited. In the same sphere of things, I need to read Becoming the Dark Prince, which is a novella by Carrie Maniscalco that is actually between Escaping from Houdini as well as Capturing the Devil. So once I'm done Escaping from Houdini, I need to read that novella. It's only around 80 or 90 pages, and I believe this one is told in Thomas's point of view because this one is, all the other books are told in Audrey Rose's point of view. Very excited for that, and obviously let's get the biggest release out of the way. I am really looking forward to reading Capturing the Devil. Again, I will be creating a full video for that, and it's my most anticipated release of the year. It's finally here, and obviously it is on my September TBR. In September, I also plan on reading a graphic novel that is the Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. Recently, I read Aquicorn Cove by Katie O'Neill, and I've heard so much hype about the Tea Dragon Society. The illustrations look absolutely beautiful. This is a very short graphic novel, and it's 3 times the size of my head. I don't really know what this is about. I think it's about tea dragons, and all of her graphic novels tend to have this underlying message. With Aquicorn Cove, it's about taking care of your environment, so I'm really looking forward to see what I can learn from the Tea Dragon Society. The next book on my TBR is probably one of the most exciting books I will ever get the chance to read, and that is Harley in the Sky by Akemi Dawn Bowman. If you guys don't know, I adore this author. She's the author of Summerbird Blue as well as Starfish. I have a full review for Summerbird Blue on my channel, which I really wish you guys would see. And I know Akemi is not the most well-known author, but her works, although they do have some trigger warnings, are very important, very emotional, and just beautiful YA contemporary. This one is actually a manuscript, and it doesn't come out until March of 2020, I believe. So I will leave all the Goodreads information down below, as well as the pre-order links and incentives and that kind of stuff. I am really fortunate to be part of the street team for this one, and I just got this in the mail a few days ago, so I'm very excited. This one is obviously circus themed by the cover. This follows a girl whose parents own a circus. I believe our main character has always wanted to be like a trapeze artist or something in the circus, but her parents won't allow it, and so she escapes and goes to work for the competing circus. I cannot wait to see what this brings. There's usually a lot of underlying messages and themes in Akimi's novel. Her writing and her prose are fantastic, and so I will be reading this and creating like full video content and full written reviews for this so that you guys can learn more about it and see if you want to order it for yourself when it comes out. The next book I want to read is actually a reread, and I don't do those often, but I've been craving rereading this book ever since I finished it, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. If you guys didn't know, I read and annotated the paperback edition of A Curse So Dark and Lonely earlier this year. It's one of my favorite fantasy books of all time, which is saying a lot because I don't read a lot of fantasy. I'm not prone to wanting to read fantasy, but this one especially hit close to home because I do have a family member that suffers from cerebral palsy, which our main character Harper has in this book. So let me drop this one. I did order myself a hardcover copy on Book Outlet, and apparently it comes from Target, so. But this book follows two main characters, Ren and Harper. Harper, as I mentioned, is a main character that lives in our world and has cerebral palsy, and it's part of her, but it doesn't define her, which I really appreciated. And Ren is kind of like the Beauty and the... because this is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, if I didn't mention, and he's kind of like the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. He lives in a different world, and Harper kind of gets drawn into Ren's world by accident, kind of. And it's basically their story and obviously everything that happens. I don't want to spoil anything. I know a lot of you guys must have read this already, but still. The sequel, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, comes out in January 2020, I believe, and I can't wait for it, but I feel like this is such a fall atmosphere book, and I really want to reread this very soon, hopefully in the month of September. There's a few more books that I want to get to if I have enough time with this immediate TBR, as well as all the new releases, because September is like my biggest release month. The first one being This Time Will Be Different by Misa Sugiura. This, I'm not like very well versed in the overall idea of this book. I just know that a lot of people say it's very impactful and that it has some good rep in here. I think this has to do with like flower shops and maybe Asian families. I'm not really sure, but I really want to read this, and I've been intrigued by it ever since it came out. I know the summary used to like grasp my attention. I just completely forgot what it was about. And the last book on my immediate TBR is The Brightsiders by Jen Wilde. She is the author of Queens of Geek, which I read a few months ago and really adored. I especially wanted to read this one because it has to do with what I call musical romances, and I'm running out of those plot lines on my shelf. Basically, we follow our main character who is part of a band, and she's having a hard time. I believe she went through a breakup or a scandal or something of the sorts, and she wakes up like she has to like work her career again, and then she falls in love with another one of her bandmates. I believe our main character is bisexual, and that there will probably be a lot of rep in here, but all I know is this is a musical romance. It involves two people in a band, and I can't wait. I really like Jen Wilde's diversity and mental health rep. I really appreciated that in Queens of Geek, so very looking forward to this. So I have my trusty little bullet journal where I write all the books I want to read, and we will refer to it for the rest of this video because it's all new releases. So the first set of new release books that I have on my TBR and really want to read all come out on September 3rd. I can't say that word. The first one is American Royals by Katherine McGee. She is actually the author of the Towering Sky, you know that series that everybody lives in the same tower, kind of like Gossip Girl. I'll put a picture up here because I don't remember. But she's coming out with a new book, and it's called American Royals, and it's basically the idea of royalty in America. Probably going to be filled with drama, and a lot of people have had arcs, and a lot of people seem to really be enjoying it, and so I pre-ordered it, and ever since I read Red, White, and Royal Blue, as well as Truly Madly Royally, I've been in the mood for more royal romances and that kind of stuff, so definitely want to read that one. Also want to read Tunnel of Bones, which is the sequel to City of Bones. No, what is it? Yeah, it's Tunnel of Bones for City of Ghosts. So sorry. City of Ghosts is the first in a middle grade series by Victoria Schwab. I love this book. Read this book in a day last year. Very atmospheric and very good like settings for October months. It's kind of like spooky. This again is a middle grade and it follows Cassidy, who can actually see ghosts, and she kind of feels their presence, and her parents actually work as like in a TV show where they can like they're looking for ghosts, but her parents actually don't have Cassie's talent. And basically Tunnel of Bones is the sequel to City of Ghosts, and I love this. This is one of my favorite middle grade books ever, so I really wanted to read the sequel, and hopefully it delivers just as much fun, entertainment, and lightheartedness with a little bit of atmosphere for the September month, because I don't like to read really creepy books, but these aren't creepy enough to like scare me. They're just a little bit creepy, which is my jam. Another book I want to read in September is Steel Tide, which is the sequel to Seafire, and that one was a YA pirate book with an all-female crew. I loved Seafire really, really much, and I feel like we don't have enough YA fantasy books that like surround pirates, and so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens in this one, because the first one definitely like ended on a cliffhanger, and oh my god, I really can't wait to see like the motivations of the characters, how they change, if the crew is all separated like I think it will be, you know, so many things to think about, so many theories, and I hope I get a few answers. I also want to read Pumpkinhead by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. Faith Erin Hicks is a great illustrator, and I do like Rainbow Rowell. This one is kind of like a pumpkin patch story about two people who have worked together in a pumpkin patch, and I believe it's their last year working there together. It looks very fun and festive and very fall seasony, so there's that I want to read. I also want to read Lady Rogue, which is by Jen Bennett, her first actual fantasy book. That's all I know about it, but from what I read from the blurb, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Stalking Jack the Ripper, so we love that for us. And yeah, I also have a few other books that if I really have the time I want to get to, like Stepsister, which is a Cinderella retelling, but we are focusing on one of the stepsisters. So that's very intriguing. I think it will bring different point of views. And other than that, I know the companion or sequel to the Tea Dragon Society is also coming out. Now, I just did want to mention that this TBR has nothing to do with a contemporary-a-thon. I will make a separate video for that one, which I know this is like very, very ambitious, but September is always a great reading month. And so, yeah, whatever I'm going to read in the contemporary-a-thon with all the challenges will be in a different video. So that's it for my September TBR. You guys wish me luck, and I will see you very soon with another video. Don't forget to comment down below what is on your September TBR so we can chat. Bye, guys!